we are in the studio together again on the radio. Very exciting. Here's a fine letter from a listener. And what is her name? Chaya. Her name is Chaya. Here's what Chaya writes in to say. Chaya is very big on bullet points. You ever get an email or a letter from somebody who goes crazy on the bullet points? She goes crazy on the bullet points here. And based on her email address, I believe, and her name, I believe she might be from India. Here's what she has to say. Hello, Tom. 1. See, bullet points. 1, I will not ask you how you are doing, cause, C-O-S, I don't care. Don't spell without the apostrophe. 2, I have been listening to you for the past few months, and God, 3 exclamation points, then quotes, I hate you, end quote, comma, but why do I still listen to you, question mark, 5 dots, that's a big ellipsis. Just look it up. Just to see to what extent you can let yourself down, and let me tell you, letter U, you, the full word, do a great job in proving that you, the letter U, are an, well, a-hole, but she doesn't say a-hole. Congrats. 3, and boy, she is articulate. Tell you what. 3, let me tell you, the letter U, what I have to say, comma, capital A, about me, colon, I am 28 years old, capital O, period. I have my master's in environmental engineering. I am married for 4 years. My hubby is also an environmental engineer. I have never messed up my life, and hence, I have the right to say whatever I have to say to you. Then the next paragraph. About you, colon, indentation, no number, no bullet point itself. Looks like you have always met the wrong kind of women in life. Another indented line here says, that's, no apostrophe, that's cause, C-O-S. You, capital Y-O-U, are a loser, and you do not know how to judge people. Another indented sentence for no apparent reason. You get to meet all kinds of cheap women, cause, C-O-S. You are cheap. And hence, obviously, you get to meet women of your standard. Remember one thing, Tom, if you are rich today and have a career, which is misspelled C-A-R-R-E-R, today, that's, no apostrophe, because of women, in quotation marks and caps. Do, capital D, capital O, you now know how dependent, misspelled, you are on us. You will lose your job and be on streets if you stop your talk show on how is capitalized for some reason, bad, all caps, women are. So you are making money because of women, in caps, and learn to respect them. Do you think guys are perfect? If you think you are the representative of the men in this country, you are just proving to internationals, in parentheses, like me, that you men is capitalized, in U.S. are a-holes. So when you are having a show on air, you are representing your country rather than an individual. Individual spelled I-N-D-U. V-I-D-U-A-L. Individual. As opposed to a Hindu-vidual. Like the one who wrote this letter. So make an impression. Why don't, no apostrophe. Don't they teach apostrophes in India? What is this? You don't. Why don't you quit talking nonsense about women and get an other job? Another broken up into 2 separate words. Now the next sentence is in all caps. No, you will not, and you cannot cause, C-O-S, you are a loser. You will never make the kind of money I think she meant to say never make that kind of money. And if you find a job on your own by keeping your mouth shut, you will end up being a janitor. Janitor is capitalized. And then she says, probably in my company, cleaning the S of people. She's not saying S. If you are a man, quit your talk show and find a job without your celebrity status. Get a job based on your education. Stop making money by bad-mouthing women. The more you talk about others, the more you are talking about your own character. And then the last line in all caps, so just go get a life. Signed, Chaya. It's amazing. Does anyone out there understand what she's saying? And more importantly, does anyone out there agree with what she's saying?
Tom Leykis. Tom Leykis. 800-5800. Tom.
I know it's an awful thing to say, and I hope God forgives me for saying this, but I hope you catch AIDS.
Really?
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. Let's say hello here to Tony. Tony, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
What's happening, Tom?
Doing okay.
Yeah, all right. I just want to say a couple of things about that ridiculous letter you just read.
Go right ahead.
Well, first of all, I'm not really sure how you get a master's degree when you write like that. That seems to be, it's almost a joke.
Well,
And,
this is somebody. Yeah, this is somebody who says she has a master's. Of course, we can't check her credentials.
Right. But I mean, when you write a letter like that, that's proof enough that she probably doesn't have one. Second of all, I think it's pretty obvious that you're an excellent American. That you represent us very well. I don't know if she's ever heard of the First Amendment.
By the way, this is coming from somebody who comes from a country where they have arranged marriages, for God's sake.
Right. Well, I don't know if we know for sure exactly if she's from India or not.
Well, I'm telling you, but the email address is from Yahoo's address in India.
Oh, okay. Well,
now, that doesn't mean she's in India now, but she probably was at one time and probably still has the same email address. Because why would anybody in the United States have an email address for Yahoo India?
well, I don't know. But
I didn't give her last. I did not give her last name, but I strongly suspect she is from India.
But I think you obviously represent America very well because the right of free speech is runs rampant on your show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. By the way, I've had good friends, male friends from India. But one thing they've all had in common, no balls. A bunch of horny guys with no balls. I mean, come on. She's probably not used to guys like me telling the truth.
All right.
By the way, I didn't give you the subject line in the email. The subject line in the email, here it is. You are a bastard. 6 exclamation points. Then, no capitalization of the next sentence. And the biggest loser. And you are effed up. And it doesn't say effed.
Well, I wonder if she knows what a bastard really is.
I will tell you I'm a son of a bitch, I'm an a-hole, and I'm a creep. And I'm proud of it.
Right on.
And if she thinks that, that's how I know I'm doing the show right.
Exactly. And
God forbid some chick with her pussy-whipped husband from India, God forbid she said, oh, I love your show, I listen all the time, please.
Yeah.
I'm glad she hates it.
Yep. She's not one of your, why she listens, I have no idea. I guess she's not comfortable with anything with knobs on it to begin with, but she should just turn the damn channel.
Well, she says she listens just to see to what extent I let myself down.
Well, as an American serviceman out there on the front lines, I appreciate your show. You definitely give me some entertainment.
Tony, I'm glad we can help you as you serve our country.
Yes, sir. All right.
Thank you so much. There goes Tony. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Kyle on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, how you doing, Tom?
Great.
All right. Well, I don't understand. Who does this lady think that she is? I mean, first of all, she's not even from our country, so she can shut up and go back.
By the way, you know, just because she's in India doesn't mean she can't read or write English. Most people I know from India read, write, and speak very good English. She misspelled words like career and dependent. I'm just going through here. A bunch of words she misspelled.
And she claims she has a career?
She claims she has a master's degree.
Oh. From Poland?
From the closed cover before striking university.
Oh, it pisses me off. I don't understand. She sits there and says how much she hates you, but she still listens to the show?
That's right.
Amazing.
I know. Why do they torture themselves?
Typical woman, I guess.
Yeah, typical is right.
Jeez. Well, you think you can blow me up, Tom?
Of course I can. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. This is Brian on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Good afternoon, Tom. How are you?
Doing great, Brian.
Super. Hey, first of all, this lady just proves how ignorant these women are. And you know her husband's secretly listening in the back room, hoping she doesn't catch him listening to the Tom Leykis Show.
Right.
You know the poor guy is just sitting there wishing he was somewhere else.
That's right.
And all these misspellings in her letter, if you're going to take the time to type that letter up, you might as well get the spelling correct.
I agree.
I just was sitting here listening to it and shaking my head, just typical woman. I just can't believe it. Hey, Tom, you're doing a great service out here in Arizona for us. We love you. I was wondering if you could take me out with Dino's voicemail.
Dino's voicemail. Of course I can.
Dino, you are the biggest asshole I've ever met in my entire life.
1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello to John on the Tom Leykis Show.
What's up, you worm? Hey, you ever wonder what kind of pain and heartache you may be causing the family and relatives of Lacey Peterson when you do your blow me up Lacey Peterson, Scott Peterson style?
Boo-hoo-hoo.
Just wondering. No, that's the response. Boo-hoo-hoo.
Boo-hoo-hoo.
Really? So it doesn't bother you that what it may, the feelings it may bring up in them?
I say anyone who's offended should tune out.
It's not the point. That's not what I asked you, so don't try to change the subject.
You do continue to listen.
About it.
Why do you continue to listen?
See, you're trying to change the subject.
I'm not changing the subject. I'm asking why you continue to listen.
For the reason 99%, I listen to the show for the reason 99% of the people do. We also stop to watch car wrecks, and we also eat an Olive Garden. Doesn't make it good. Just means that we do it.
By the way, they still pay me. As long as you listen, they don't care why you listen. As long as you do listen, and every time you listen, I get credit for it, and I get a big fat paycheck.
You're changing the subject.
I'm not changing the subject.
All the time. I asked you how you felt about what happens to her family when they do that.
I'm offended with it. Anytime a caller calls in and requests that, I am offended.
What's that?
Anytime a listener calls in and requests that sound effect, I'm offended.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, but you do it anyway.
Well, because the listener asked for it, but I am offended.
No, because you'd rather get paid, so your offense can be bought off, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, I'm here to be, look, I have to do what I have to do to get ratings and make money. That's what I do, just like you do at your job.
Listen, pal, you got an entertaining show. I don't think anybody will deny that, okay? An entertaining show. I listen to it because I'm entertained.
You just referred to it as a car wreck.
Yeah. And I also refer to it as eating at Olive Garden, and use that analogy all the time, too.
I do.
A lot of people eat at Olive Garden. Doesn't make it good food. A lot of people listen to the Tom Leykis Show. Doesn't make it a good show.
Wouldn't you like to own Olive Garden, though?
What's the point?
Well, the point is making lots of money.
See, the thing is, you always try to use a circular argument. If there's money involved, it's right.
There's no circular argument. It's a free country. We have free speech. God bless America.
Did anybody say...
God bless the U.S. dollar. In God we trust.
The case?
What?
This is the best country in the world because we
It is.
do have free
Because
speech.
you can even have
We
the Tom
have-
Leykis show. I think it's fantastic.
Listen, I told you before, the show is entertaining. However, I really wanted to know what you really felt about what her family may experience when you play that. That's all. You know?
Again.
You can play your... I'm sorry?
Our show is not on in Stockton, and it's not on in Fresno.
So you don't think her family ever travels outside Stockton or Fresno?
I have no idea. I'll tell you what, if they call me personally, and express concern about it, I'll deal with that. It hasn't happened.
You don't have the common sense to do it yourself? You say...
No, I give the people what they want. That's why I'm number one.
You just admitted, dude, you're number one in a few small markets, okay?
Oh, yeah, small markets like Chicago, San Francisco, Dallas, Phoenix, San Diego, and Los Angeles. Oh, just a bunch of little tiny places.
The Johnny...
Yeah, well, I gotta tell you what, when you have a subscription to Arbitron, pal, you let me know, okay? When you have a subscription to the Arbitron book. Unbelievable. The guy claims he has the Arbitron ratings out there. Well, good luck to you, pal. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Bill on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hey.
I'm a new listener. I've just started listening to you this month, and I can't believe how good your show is.
Thank you.
I have so enjoyed all the banter about this twit who wrote you this email. Honestly, I think she learned her English online. That's the only way I can explain it. And I'd like to know how she's able to type with her head stuck where it's at.
Maybe that's why there's so many misspellings.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And I just wonder if the last caller is from the same area that she's from and maybe went to the same college. My gosh, you can't even get on the right subject.
It's outrageous.
Who cares? You know, I honestly, I just want to learn your etiquette. I want to learn more about the Tom Leykis Show. Where do I get more information?
Well, just go to our website, blowmeuptom.com. 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Jessica on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How are you?
Great.
Good. Listen, I just heard that other gentleman call, and he was pretty much peeved at you. And I have to say, I do listen to your show, but...
Great. Keep it up.
I will try. My biggest issue with you is I feel like you constantly dodge questions that people ask.
Which ones? All right, ask me the tough questions.
Why do you make fun of people in Portland, Oregon when you are morbidly obese yourself?
Well, I'm not morbidly obese. That's not true. I am fat. There's no doubt about it. But I will tell you, by the way, there's a medical definition for morbidly obese, and I definitely don't fit it. But besides all of that, we're talking about the women in Portland because they are particularly large.
But
much larger than women anywhere I go, except I don't go to New Orleans very often anymore, but that might be the only city where I've seen larger women than Portland.
So basically, it's okay to be an obese man.
Yes.
Because you have money.
Yes.
But, I mean...
I'm rich and successful.
Also,
I can do whatever I want. The rich get richer.
I understand that, but who...
That's how it works.
What educator...
Well, you just said I didn't. I don't answer the questions. Didn't I answer your question? I answered it forthrightly.
No, you didn't, because you are...
You asked me a question, and I answered it yes. Yes, I said yes.
Okay. Then my other question
How many times do I have to answer the same question? I answer the question, and then you tell me I didn't answer it.
No, but you didn't even admit...
Admit what? Because it wasn't true.
Tell me what you think the definition of morbidly obese is.
30% overweight. That is what it is. And by the way, you don't know what the definition is. You're bluffing here.
Actually, I'm not bluffing you. It doesn't necessarily have to do with percentages.
Yes, it does. That is the medical definition of morbidly obese. You don't even know what it means.
Okay, so apparently a picture is not worth 1,000 words because
no.
You look like you can barely
I don't care what you think I look like. Well, I look like I can barely walk. I do 2 miles on a treadmill 4 times a week. But the bottom line is you don't know what it means. You're faking. And now you're out here grasping at straws. And I answered your question, and now that I answered it, now you're trying to go off in another direction.
I'm not at all.
Now look who's dodging.
I'm not dodging.
What's your next question, dear?
Okay, this isn't a question. This is a statement.
You said that I don't respond to hard-hitting questions, and I said ask the tough questions, and you asked one question, and when I answered it, you said that I didn't answer it.
Okay. You would be a great attorney because you seriously just talk through
Because I'm more logical than any woman who calls in here, especially you, and logic drives women mad because women like to argue from emotion. Women like to argue from emotion and name-calling and whining like you do.
I'm not mad.
And you prove my point about women right here, right now.
Actually, I don't, because it doesn't matter how much money you have. I wouldn't let your grimy hands near me.
Dear, you're probably not the kind of woman I want to touch anyway with that big fat trap of yours.
I'm sure I would beg to differ.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure you'd beg to differ, but you would have to beg to differ. Dear, it has nothing to do with that. You never shut up.
Okay. Then don't expect to ever have a woman by your side who isn't dumber than a box of rocks.
I don't mind that.
Pardon me?
I'm okay with that, as long as she's hot.
Right, and do you think that she won't be a gold digger because that's all you have to offer?
Dear, I don't pay money to anybody.
Right, so I'm sure that you spend time with extremely ignorant people.
I do, and I have sex with some of the hottest, stupidest women on the planet.
And that's gratifying for you.
It's fantastic. If I want to have an intelligent conversation, I'll go to a cocktail party.
A cocktail party where people are drinking?
Oh, where people, not the cocktails, that's the important thing. Cocktail parties are places where erudite people discuss politics and what's going on in the world. If I want to go to if I want to talk about those things, that's the kind of place I'll go. But I'm certainly not going to go on a date to have a conversation like that.
But don't you ever want to have somebody by your side who, you know, is...
No, I want to get laid by hot chicks.
Okay. There you go. I'm sure you can...
See, I answered every question you asked and then some.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm sorry, I pity you. And you should really look into gastric bypass.
Well, that's great, honey. And again, you just got to remember that when you run out of logic, when you run out of things to say, that's the kind of thing you do. Shout something like that. And that's fine. That's fine. All I know is that with a trap like that, you'll be paying your own bills and supporting yourself until you're 70 years old, and you become the cat lady. If you're not the cat lady already.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
Tom, I have big, beautiful breasts, and I will use them every chance I get.
The Tom Leykis Show.
The Tom Leykis Show. At 1-800-5800-TOM. That's our telephone number. It's Jay on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing, Tom?
Great.
Well, Thomas, I'm in the military, and I wanted to call and let you know that I think you're doing our country a great justice by uprightening the First Amendment.
Well, thank you for that. And you boys do all the hard work of protecting the First Amendment, which is spectacular.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I also wanted to comment on the last couple callers that you have. It seems like even though you answer their questions, they're just mad that it's just not the answers that they want to hear.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's not the answer they wanted, and so they start going on and on and on. I love when they tell me I'm evading the question. What question have I ever evaded?
You didn't evade the questions. You answered the question. You said yes. You answered her question right out, but she didn't want to hear that answer. She wanted you to give her a sob story about how all things you say probably aren't true, but you didn't say what she wanted to hear, so she decided to run around with it.
Exactly. And the guy before that, same thing, telling me I'm evasive, I'm evading the tough questions. This is such nonsense. I'll answer any question.
Well, that's the thing. And he was talking about how, you know, Lacey Peterson's family's probably upset. Well, the thing is, our country is great because of what we have, and what we have is the First Amendment. If he doesn't like it, then change the channel, but he doesn't want to change the channel because then he doesn't get to hear the things that you're saying that he might find offensive.
He loves listening.
Oh, of course he does, because it makes him angry.
That's right. Exactly right, Jay. Thank you for that. Appreciate the call. Robbie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Great.
I'd just like to say, first of all, I agree. I think you did answer the questions, and I totally uphold the First Amendment. I'm a law student myself, and I think the First Amendment is incredibly important, and if anybody tried to pass a law to shut you up, I'd be one of the first people fighting to keep you able to speak. But I do have to ask whether or not you feel any kind of responsibility for maybe the impact that some of the things that you say has on perhaps other people who aren't nearly as intelligent as you.
Such as what? I'd like to hear the examples.
Well, I was thinking specifically of some of the degrading comments about women. I mean, for instance, I realize, everyone's entitled to their views, whatever, but, if you say something like, women are illogical, women can't think, I can just envision people, who are prone to domestic violence or something like that.
That's a long leap. That is a long leap. To any kind of violence. By the way, first of all, understand...
supporting domestic violence or anything like that. I'm just saying...
I am also not causing violence. I've been very specific on this program in saying that I'm opposed to violence of any kind.
Right. And I'm not trying
domestic violence is violence. I'm also opposed to having a separate category for what they call domestic violence.
I guess more what I'm just saying is, you have a lot of influence. You're aired in a lot of cities. A lot of people listen to your show. You gain a lot of approval from a lot of your listeners. And so
that's because they agree with what I say.
Say that perhaps you see as relatively empty, comments and things that really have no effect.
Well, the reason I have so many listeners, but the reason I have so many listeners is because so many people agree with what I say.
I agree, which makes you all that much more powerful.
So if I stop saying the things I believe, maybe I won't have so many listeners. The reason, what came first, the chicken or the egg? If people are listening in large numbers because they like what I have to say, should I then change my opinions?
No, and I feel that you're entitled to your opinions, but when you air your opinions, sometimes they can have unwarranted consequences. I mean, people who go around openly airing racist opinions can give other people who are also racist the feeling that they're justified, that they have support from other areas, and it can just...
Well, believe me, I think when people... when people... Look, the Michael Richards thing is a very good example. When people think that someone is being outrageous and unrealistically unbelievable like that, that person will pay the price. The reason I don't pay a price is because so many people agree with what I'm doing.
A lot of people certainly do agree with what you're doing.
The vast majority do.
Yeah. I don't know about a vast majority. I mean, obviously, you probably hear mostly from the people who agree with you. A lot of us don't listen to your show that much, but...
Well, again, those who disagree, I certainly don't see the kind of uproar that Michael Richards caused.
Right. No, and I don't personally think that any...
And you don't have to by the way, you don't have to...
Out of line.
You don't have to take your cell phone and surreptitiously record me. I mean, I'm right here on the air expressing my opinions on the open market.
Right. Yeah, no, my question was just, whether it ever bothers you, whether the consequences of what you say and the impact that it may have on others ever bothers you.
The worst consequence of anything I might ever say is I might say something that would cause people to not be listening.
Fair enough.
Because my job is to get people to listen.
That's true. I guess I was just wondering if, that was the bottom line ahead of all other
That
lines,
is the bottom line. Just like, I don't know what you do for a living. What do you do for a living?
Well, I'm a student right now. I'm a law student.
All right. So when you're a lawyer, are you going to criminal law or corporate law? Criminal law. So you're going to be defending guilty people.
Well, actually, right now I'm working for the prosecutor's office, but there's dilemmas on both sides.
Well, all right. So there you go. Sometimes you're going to prosecute people you know might be innocent.
Sure.
But you're going to do it anyway because it's politically expedient.
If I know they're innocent, then I'd probably dismiss the charge.
Well, you say that, but how do I know your name's not Mike Nifong Jr.? I mean, the bottom line is that there's people...
I did help to dismiss somebody today when I was working with the prosecutors because we both really did believe they were innocent. But I admit there's room for error.
How many Mike Nifongs are there with the Duke lacrosse team? How many guys like that who know the guys are innocent and keep pressing ahead with the case anyway?
And I did not support that prosecution whatsoever. I thought that was totally out of line.
I understand, but you know what I'm saying. Many people who do that for a living, they do whatever is politically expedient. I will tell you, in my own case, I was once accused of, speaking of which, domestic violence by a district attorney who was up for re-election, and he had a big fish.
Right, but I don't think that other people's impropriety justifies yours or anyone else's.
Oh, but I'm not saying that. I didn't cop to an impropriety. I expressed my opinions on the radio.
Right.
And these are my opinions. I could go underground and not express my
totally
opinions.
Entitled to that. Like I said, I just wondered if you ever, maybe lie awake at night wondering if you've had any kind of, adverse effect.
I hope I've had an effect. I hope when guys are living with a ball-busting bitch that they dump her.
Well, I certainly would hope they dump her, too. And, obviously if they dump her, that's not really an issue.
Well, that's one of the big effects I think this show has had on guys. The Tom Leykis Show. Ashley, hello.
Yes?
Yes.
Well, I was just calling to say if you actually believe the things that you say, or do you just do it for entertainment like any other stand-up comedian? Like, do you honestly live your life by the things that you say?
Like which ones?
Just like things about how women are ball-busting bitches and whatever else.
I didn't say all women are ball-busting bitches. If all women were ball-busting bitches, I'd go gay.
Well, true, but I'm just saying, like, you sit here and you make all these comments. Do you believe and live your life by the comments that you say?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
So even to your mother, to women that you've had in your life, you believe the things that you say?
My mother,
for entertainment purposes?
My mother died 9 years ago.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, have you lived your life like this always, or is there something new that you did just to be entertaining?
It's not what I do to be entertaining, it's what I believe.
So you really honestly believe this?
Yes.
Okay. And you answered my question.
Now, you don't even tell me what it is you're referring to, but I don't remember making anything up.
No, I'm not saying you make anything up, but just like any other comedian, they say things are up in the world every day.
But you can't name one thing.
Well, like an example, like I'm saying you support our troops and you support men that have an opinion and agree with the things that you say, but as soon as somebody calls and disagrees with what you say, you cut them off.
Well, how many people do you disagree with that you agree with?
What do you mean? Doesn't make sense.
Well, you're saying I agree with people who call in, but when somebody disagrees, I disagree with them. What are you talking about? Of course, if
I did, cut them off, you don't even let them finish.
Believe me, they say the same thing over and over. It's not that they don't finish; they say the same thing 5 times.
Because they're trying to prove their point and make you wrong.
They're not proving the point by repeating it over and over.
Exactly.
It doesn't make it any more right.
I mean, this is the first time I've ever listened to your show, but I work with all guys because I work in construction, and they love it. They think it's like the best thing ever, so I had to listen to it, and I think it's pretty entertaining. But
Good.
I was just curious if it was just, because I'm a stand-up comedian fan, and I know that you guys do that to get entertainment, so I was curious if you actually felt.
Well, we hope the show is entertaining, but I don't. I don't entertain people by making up my opinions.
No, I've been laughing my ass off. I'll admit it is funny, but I'm just saying, girls get so irate and irritated by what you say, so I can understand your opinion.
That's because most guys are in their search to get laid are politically correct around women, and they won't say the things I say.
Very true, and that's why guys think what you say is funny, and women get so offended. Because
what the guys won't tell you is that this is what they say about you when you're not there.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
You see, I say it right to your face because I'm not trying to get in your pants.
True. I agree with you. You answered my question. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Wendy, hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
I'm so excited I get to talk to you. I'm a new listener. I've only been listening for maybe 2 months now. I was told about your show by a friend. But I wanted to know, how come you don't give the females any tips on, like, if guys don't put out within the first 3 dates?
Well, if someone that calls in and asks me for advice, I give it. I mean, my advice is for anybody who wants to get laid, no matter what their gender.
I know, but all these girls are calling and complaining about, oh, he's always disrespectful to women, he's always this. And like I said, I've been listening to 2 months. And to me, you crack me up. I enjoy your show.
Good.
I don't understand why the women are complaining, because they should want to know, like, these little things that guys think.
By the way, I have given women advice. Women have called me and said, you always give guys advice on how to get laid. What about chicks? How do women get laid?
That's what I'm saying.
Why?
There's a lot of chicks out there that want to know, too.
Why? And I tell them the same thing I'll tell you. If you want to get laid, it's very simple. Put your left leg at the 12 and your right leg at the 3.
Well, I know that part already.
Has it failed yet?
Yeah, it has.
It has?
Well, thanks, Tom. I'm so excited I get a chance to be on air with you. I love you. I don't care if you're a fat white guy. I love you.
The Tom Leykis Show.